to sit on the 3rd row. Now we're on the 10th row. We used to sit on the 10th row. Now we're on the back row. We used to come every Sunday, but we miss a couple of Sundays. And we pop in every once in a while. We leave church before we leave church. Just because we go through stuff, don't leave the church. Don't let your condition change your position. You stay with God. Bartimaeus' condition, he's blind, broken, begging. He doesn't know what to do. He's at a point in his life. He's been blind since birth. He wants to see. He wants to see what you see. He wants to see the sunrise. He wants to see the moon. He wants to see the stars. He wants something basic. Well, it gets gooder. It gets gooder. It gets gooder. Watch this. Yeah, I preach in the country. I can say gooder. I know it's good. I just say gooder. Verse 47 says, when he heard, all y'all say when he heard, that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Watch this. But many were sternly telling him to be quiet. But he kept crying out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Can I talk to y'all just for a minute? The reason why folk leave the church when they go through something, when they come to church and they sit there and cry, they sit there and weep, we tell them to be quiet. These folk had to be members of the Church of Christ. They had to be. Why are you going to tell me to be quiet when I'm hurting? Why are you going to tell me to be quiet when I'm going through some stuff? I'm going through some stuff. I need Jesus. If I raise my hand and say, thank you, Lord. If I raise my hand and say, Father, help me, leave me alone. I forgot to give y'all my second point, but I got caught up. I'm sorry. Bartimaeus' condition. This is Bartimaeus' cry. This is his cry. Folk are crying because they're hurting. I can get beat up at my job. Why would I come to church and get beat up? Why would I come to the house of God with so-called Christians and they're telling me to be quiet? Why would I come to the house of God and ask for prayer and all you tell me is, it'll be all right, baby? Bartimaeus is crying for help. But I want y'all to see this. Jesus is coming by. He didn't see all the posters. He didn't see the TV programs. But what did happen is, he heard. He heard that Jesus was coming by. Have you heard it before? Have y'all heard that Jesus is coming by? Have you heard it? Bartimaeus heard that Jesus was coming by and he got excited. Son of David, Prince of Peace, my healer, my rock, my all in all is coming by to heal me. I got a chance to see again. Woo, that's good. He says, when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out, saying, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Do y'all need some mercy this morning? Y'all need some mercy. There is nothing like some mercy. Nothing like mercy. I need his mercy every day. When I come to the house of God, don't tell me to be quiet. Don't tell me to shut up. Don't tell me to go to the back of the church. We'll help you later. Just give me some mercy. Just give me some help. Just pray for me. Just wrap your arms of love around me and say, brother, I got your back. That's why some conditions change some folks' position. Because we're not sensitive enough to help somebody. I was preaching one Sunday. It was hot outside. This man walked off the street. He was sweaty. He didn't smell like some of us. He was filthy. He walked down the aisle and hugged me. You know what I did? I hugged him back. Because all of us were dirty and filthy at one time in our life. And Jesus cleaned us up. Just because we arrived, you look good this morning with all your rouge on your face, got your hat on your head, got your Chanel number 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10 on. We're still filthy rags. We're not better than everybody else. We still need God's mercy. I tell the church where I preach, this place is a hospital. We all sick, and we all trying to get well. I also tell them, don't look down on somebody unless you're picking them up. But we look down on folk. We just, it wasn't but a couple of months ago that we just got our freedom. Walking through front doors and drinking out of water fountains, and since we think we good now. We done forgot about everybody else. Folk are looking for Jesus. They're looking for Jesus. They're looking for a place they can go where everybody loves them. No matter where they come from, no matter their financial backing, they're looking for somebody to love them. They don't get that love out in the world. When they come to the house of God, leave them alone. His cry is a cry for help. Have you ever cried for help? Have you ever cried for help? And you need some help. Some of us don't need help, and that's not a problem. There are times as a minister, I wake up in the middle of the night just on the edge of the bed, just praying. Just praying. Because folk out there are hurting. And we're sitting there arguing over stupid stuff. We can't clap in the church. But, forget about that dumb stuff. There are folk in the world dying, going to hell, and we sitting there arguing over foolishness. What we're going to have to give an answer for is, how many souls have you saved? How many folk have you brought to the Lord? I tell the church where I preach, if some of your friends walked in this church and they looked at you, will they just say to you, I didn't know you went to church? I'm going to let that sink in. Church is not in here. Church is out there. It's by the way you act. It's the places you go. It's the language you use. I got cursing Christians at my church. There's some folk where I preach, I don't want to make them mad. Because I know they're cursing Christians. I don't like cursing Christians. Sit in business meetings and, oops, I'm sorry. We're different people. We're different people. We are children of God. And that's why when people come here, they want to feel like they're a part of something special. And they want to feel special. If I woke up every morning and said to my wife, how you doing? And kept moving. Every morning, how you doing? Every day, how you doing? How you doing? If I never told her, baby, I love you. If I didn't pay the mortgage, if I didn't pay the bills, and if I just didn't do the basic necessities as a husband, that means I don't care for her. We ought to care for one another. You got folk out there who need a ride to church, you pass them, maybe sit and wave at them. Out of empty back seat. You got people in need, and you know, I'll pray for you. Prayer is good. But love is an action word. Love is an action word. Bartimaeus needed some love. Everybody knew who he was. They knew Jesus was coming by. And he began to cry. And all they could tell him is to be quiet. Don't shut people up. In this world that we live in, let folk cry. If Donald Trump gets in office, everybody's going to be crying. I don't know, some of y'all might be Republican, I'm sorry. But like I tell the folk in my church, when I get in my car, I put my stick in an R, and I go backwards. Y'all get that in a minute. When I want to go forward, I put my car in D, and I go forward. When I want to go backwards, R for Republican, D for John. I got y'all get that. Sorry, y'all were too slow with that one. But we're going to need some Jesus. The Bible says to pray for kings and all those who are in authority, that will lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. Let me give you my last point. I'll let y'all go. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not 9 o'clock yet. Let me give you your last point. I'll let you go. Look at verse 50. His condition and his cry. Look at verse 49. Jesus stopped and said, call him here. So they called the blind man, saying to him, take courage, stand up. He's calling for you. Throwing aside his cloak, he jumped up and came to Jesus. Answering him and said, Jesus said, what do you want me to do for you? And the blind man said to him, Rabboni, I want to regain my sight. Bartimaeus' condition, his cry. Now look at his cure. Look at his cure. Whatever you're going through this morning, there's a cure for you. There's a cure for you. Brother Vaughn, I've been in this state of my condition for so long, but there's a cure for you. But you just don't understand what I've been going through, brother. I may not understand, but I know somebody that understands. I know that there's a cure for you. I know that there's hope for you. I know because God has done something for me, and if he's done something for me, he'll do something for you. Bartimaeus wanted to be cured. He wanted to be whole. He wanted his sight. Jesus asked a simple question. What is it you want me to do for you? What would you have answered and said? That's a simple question. Bartimaeus could have asked for anything. That was a question from Jesus. But Bartimaeus, all he wanted was his sight. That's more than precious gold. Is his sight. I tell folk all the time, I cannot spend money if I'm broke down. If I'm bedridden, it makes no difference how much money I got in my bank. I can't touch it. We have to live a life worthy of the calling of Jesus. Jesus has given us something, and we ought to use what Jesus has given us. All Bartimaeus wanted was his sight. Jesus gave him his sight. He was cured. He can tell folks. We all got a testimony to give. But we're scared to use that word in the Lord's church. We're scared to use the word testimony in the Lord's church. Why? If Jesus has done something for you, you ought to tell somebody. If he brought you through some mess, you ought to tell somebody. There are folks sitting here who are going through some mess, who have not told you. Maybe if you tell somebody, they can rejoice like you. We get caught up in self. Can I just tell you something? It's not about you. It's not about you. We ought to help somebody else. We ought to help somebody else. We're children of God. When you help somebody, God will bless you for helping them. My wife tells me all the time, let's go see about so-and-so. We get to the house and there are dishes in the sink. All the years we've been doing this, I've never heard my wife ask the question, do you want me to wash your dishes? She goes there and washes the dishes. You have elderly women who need things, elderly men who need things. It snows in Oklahoma. And I tell all my elderly widows, do not sit in your house and freeze to death. They won't turn the air on or the heat on because they can't afford to pay bills. Turn your air on and turn your heat on. We got your back. I tell my brothers to go by their house and shovel their driveways out. Don't ask them. You go and do it. Because some of them don't say, no, I'm okay. Just do it. Take them a plate. Cut their grass. You don't have to ask, just do it. I hear so much about the reason why I left the church because nobody cared about me. I know that's a lame excuse, but people use it. And we got to be better. Don't let your condition change your position. I'm done, y'all. I'm done. If you're here this morning and you have a condition, I believe this is a praying church, isn't it? We'll pray for you. The elders here are praying brethren, and they will pray for you. Don't leave the church because you have a condition. All of us have a condition. Some of us just have a condition right now. Some of us just came out of a condition. And maybe this week you might get in a condition. But don't let it change your position. Where you are now is where you need to be. In the house of God. God is still good. He's still merciful. Bartimaeus heard that Jesus was coming by. Bartimaeus had a condition. Bartimaeus cried out to the Lord. And Bartimaeus was cured. Have you ever cried at night by yourself? There's nothing wrong with crying. Nothing wrong with crying. If you're so hard and so stern that you never cried, keep living. Keep living. If you have children, they're going to make you cry. They're going to make you cry sometimes. If you're married, your wife might make you cry. Mine's not here, so I can say that. The husband might make you cry. It's okay to cry. They say because we're men, we can't cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay. Jesus is standing by. Whatever is on your heart, whatever is on your mind right this morning, Don't let your condition change your position. Stay with the Lord. If you're here this morning, you're not a child of God, you come by hearing, believing what you've heard, repent of all your past sins, confess the sweetest name of my mortal tongue, we buried with him in the water river baptism. Y'all believe in baptism here still? Yes. We'll baptize you this morning. We'll baptize you this morning. You came in a sinner, leave a saint. Whatever your desire is, come right now while together we stand and sing the song of invitation.
Would you be free from your burden of sin? There's power in the blood. There is power in the blood. Would you all evil of victory? There is wonderful power in the well. There is power. There's power. There is wonder in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, there is wonder in the precious blood of the Lamb.
We'd like to thank Brother Vaughn for such an excellent sermon. We'd like to thank Brother Adams for an excellent song service also. We have 2 responses this morning. Me and that microphone. Response number 1 is from Brother Niall Sanders. He's asked for prayers for traveling grace for his wife and mother-in-law. They're traveling back from Little Rock, Arkansas. And Brother Bees also, he has a prayer request. He says,